What if you spent your whole life not knowing who your father was, but then found you, decades too late? Well, that's the emotional heartbreak behind Son of Glen, the recent release from King Crimson frontman Jakszyk. Now, it's not just music, it's reckoning. It's a conversation with ghosts, and one of the most intimate albums, really, of 2025 so far. Stick around, because this record doesn't just tell Jakko's story, it might just make you rethink your own. Welcome back, everyone, to the album review channel. Now, Sundays are now for deep dives into recent releases, and today I'm talking about one of the most exciting albums to drop in the last few months. You know, those albums that just don't play in your ears, they kind of haunt you. Well, that's exactly what Jakszyk's Son of Glen does. It's not really just a collection of songs. It's like reading someone's diary through music. It's tender, personal. It's sometimes painfully honest, and sometimes absolutely gorgeous. Now, Jakko, if you don't already know, he's the frontman of the modern King Crimson band, but his solo work dives so much deeper into his own life. And this album, released in mid-2025, feels like the emotional sequence to his memoirs, Who's the Boy with That Lovely Hair? It's all about family, about adoption, identity, and the complicated ghosts of the past that really all of us seem to carry around with us. Now, besides Jakko on the guitar and vocals, he's joined by some really serious heavy friends on this one. Gavin Harrison, one of the most precise drummers in prog history. He contributes to several of the tracks. Another drummer, Ian Mosley from Marillion, has that classic warmth and feel. Zoltan Shores from the Flower Kings gives some tracks an almost cinematic pulse. On bass, there's Jakko's son, Django, which gives the album this really lovely full circle energy. And to top it off, there's Caroline Lavelle, who adds cello. Louise Patricia Crane sings harmonies. She's also Jakko's partner. And suddenly, this feels less like a rock record and really more like a family affair. It's a loaded title as well, as Jakszyk was adopted, and his biological father, Glen Trick, was a man he just never knew. So this whole album is him reaching back through time and imagination to make peace with that missing connection. It has to be said, it's not a sad record. It's hopeful. It's a conversation across generations. It's built in melodies, harmonies, and memories. Now, the album starts off, it opens like a mist rising over old Irish hills, if you can picture that. Ode to Ballina is a short, just over 2 minutes track, but it's absolutely haunting. It's all atmosphere, cello, soft piano. There's a low whistle that sounds like wind over the water. And it's named after Ballina, the town in Ireland tied to Jakko's ancestry. There's no big hook or chorus. It's just like a doorway opening. But once you step through it, you're inside the whole of the story. The second track is the first real major statement piece, nearly 8 minutes long and full of emotional weight. In Somewhere Between Then and Now, Jakko reflects on how time bends and blurs, how youth, love and regret really get tangled up the older we get. The music also mirrors that feeling, starting soft, acoustic, but slowly building into this powerful, perhaps almost cinematic section with electric guitar layers and rich harmonies. It's like listening to someone perhaps coming to terms with how fast life moves on with. Gavin Harrison's drumming really keeps it grounded. It's precise, but never mechanical. And by the end, it feels like you've probably been through a lifetime in just one song. Now, track 3 is How Did I Let You Get So Old? This cuts deep. It's gentle, slow, and built around this real bittersweet rhythm that almost feels like a lullaby. Here he sings directly to his father, or possibly to himself, it's a little unclear, asking how they drifted apart, how time slipped away. The production, absolutely lush. There's delicate guitar, quiet piano, and cello lines that really practically ache. Interestingly, there's even a snippet of a voice like a ghost in the mix. Listen carefully for that one, blurring what's memory and what's imagined. But by the time it fades, you're left sitting in silence, really feeling that ache of things unsaid. How did I let you get so old? Now, after all that introspection, This Kiss Never Lies opens the blinds just a little. Now, it's a love song. It's a real one because it was written for Louise Patricia Crane, Jakko's partner and creative ally. He sings about being rescued by love, about finding truth in someone's arms when everything else really feels uncertain. The music is beautifully elegant. It's a balance of piano warmth and soaring guitar lines. Louise's backing vocals turn it into something really, well, I don't know, almost sacred, if you get my drift. It's one of those rare moments where light breaks through the album's storm clouds. Can you picture that? Track 5, Reprise, is the opening piece, Ode to Ballina. Now, this reprise, it's clever. It revisits the opening theme, but this time with more emotional weight to it. It's as if the journey has already changed you, and when you return home, it's not the same place anymore. You can feel how the music swells, just a little bit fuller, a little bit more confident. Again, it's short, but symbolically, it's the heart of the album. A reminder of roots, ancestry, and identity. Track 6, I like this one. It's called I Told You So, and it really has bite. The drums lock in tight. Django's bass walks confidently, and Jakko's guitar takes a sharper edge. It's about regret and reconciliation, the things we wish we'd said, the chances we'd blown. There's this tension that builds and builds. It's like a conversation that really never quite ends. It's cathartic, but not in a happy way. But in that way, you finally let go a heavy truth. There is a certain flashback to Jakko's Level 42 days, without a question, if you listen very closely. Well, I told you so. Just say nothing. Now the track, Get a Proper Job, is that instrumental sprint that shows Jakko still has quite a wicked sense of humour. It's a fast little track, it's quirky and rhythmically playful, almost like something perhaps out of Gentle Giant or indeed early King Crimson. The title's a jab at that old line musicians always hear, when are you going to get a proper job? Well, Jakko's answer, this is my proper job, and it's beautiful. It's short, it's funny, and the perfect lead-in to what is the emotional finale on the album. And here it is, the heart, soul, and emotional earthquake of the album, the closing title track. Over 10 minutes long, it's Jakko finally sitting down with the ghost of his father, Glen Tripp. Now, the song unfolds a little bit like a letter, tender, searching. It's sometimes angry, but it's always honest. Now, the arrangements rise and fall like waves, acoustic guitar giving way to huge cinematic crescendo. Louise's harmonies come in, and suddenly it feels like two generations are singing together across time. It's really very exquisite. And by the end, the music softens, it fades into silence, and leaving this lingering sense of peace, or maybe just acceptance. Hey Glen, were you watching? So what makes Son of Glen so powerful is how it balances pain and beauty. It's really not a depressing record. It's human. I must stress that. Jakko's not just revisiting his past, he's rewriting it through melody. And so, as Son of Glen drifts into its final echo, he stands somewhere between memory and forgiveness. I'm not quite sure where he is. He's singing to a father he never met, loving the family he's built and finding peace in the act of creation. It's music as confession, as healing as legacy. Look, thanks for joining me on this journey. If you felt this one, share it, talk about it, and most importantly, go listen to the album, will you? It's the kind of album that doesn't scream for your attention. It quietly earns your heart. Every listen reveals another emotional layer. And by the end, you feel like you know him, maybe even a little of yourself as well. I think it's a little bit like listening to Steven Wilson, where really you can't take your eye off any of the songs, or you're bound to miss something really important. You know what I mean on this one? The more you listen, the more you understand. He has a voice that is very relaxing, and overall it's an album that really begs you to listen. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Now, I often get called out for featuring some albums that some consider not 100% progressive, but this is worthy of focus for someone who sang lead with one of the premier prog bands in progressive rock history. You're simply not associated with Robert Fripp in any shape or form and don't know a bit about progressive rock. Check out the description to this video to find more details about this wonderful album, as well as the channel. Thanks for your company on this one. Let me know in the comments if you've heard the album and what you think of it. As well, any of the new progressive rock albums that you would like me to feature on these Sundays. The criteria is that it simply must have been released in the last 6 months and be a progressive rock album or by a progressive rock artist. On screen now is the first new album I covered in this series from a couple of weeks back, and that's the one I want you to watch next. And I'll see you over there.